YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. Yet again, another pickups video for you here. The stuff just keeps showing up here, I think, because spring has hit despite the fact that it snowed like crazy today. Spring kind of hit recently and people have been clearing out their houses, which is really great for people like myself because the stores are starting to fill up with some pretty awesome items. Yesterday though, I forgot to tell you this little story. I thought it was pretty funny, so I'll get into it. Yesterday, in my previous video that I made, I picked up this SNES system. I've actually cleaned it up now. It works perfectly, by the way, in case you were wondering about that. It is a little bit yellowed, like it has a yellow tint to it in a way. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it in the camera. The only way that you can actually tell that from the system is that you have to actually set it next to a system that is you know, perfectly gray kind of thing, and I have a system that I did set this next to, and you can actually see that this one was a little bit tinted, but otherwise, for all intents and purposes, it is like pretty much spot on perfect. So really wicked find yesterday. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up though is this was the item that this story kind of revolves around. Now, when I walked into the store yesterday, the Value Village, I spotted the DS first in the glass case, picked it up. It was $10. You know, and I had a 30% off card. Then I went to the back and I started going through the electronics section. That's where I found this, the N64, the Saturn for PC controller, and all that kind of stuff. And when I was coming back up, I went to the glass case again because that's just kind of my habit. I sort of go to the glass case first, check out the game section, then I head back to the electronics section, go through there, go through over to the toys section, check through the toys section, go back over to the electronics and like all that kind of stuff and where controllers might be and things like that, and then I head back to the glass case to see if they put anything out because I have scored that way before, and then I head out and check out and all that kind of stuff. So I was following my usual pattern. I was going back up to the counter and there was an older gentleman standing there looking at the DS leftovers that I left behind from previous days, because basically I've hit up that store every single day for like the last 3 days, and the first day I picked up a whole ton of DS games out of the loose ones that they had there, and basically the other ones have just been sitting there sort of stewing because they're, you know, priced at about $6 each or whatever it was, like $4 or $5 each, and the games that are there aren't really worth that. So he was kind of looking through those and he had the phone out, and you could tell the guy's just a reseller, like he has no particular interest in any of this stuff because he's just checking every single price on these items, so he doesn't really know anything. Now, that being said, like I use mine sometimes too. Like sometimes I spot something, I'm like, hey man, I don't know anything about this particular title, and I do check it out for sure, but 9 times out of 10 I don't really need to because I know my stuff when it comes to these things. But this guy was checking everything, so he was standing there on my way back through. Literally must have walked in the store like 3 minutes after I got in there, sort of thing. And the gentleman behind the counter was showing him the games and everything like that, and he saw my cart and he goes, wow man, you've really got a good haul going today, because he saw all this stuff in there and he knew I had the DS system because he was the guy that handed it to me. And the reseller kind of took a look at me, and you could see the expression on his face because it just kind of like dropped. Sort of, he like, you know, had a normal look on his face, and then he's just like, oh, okay. And he goes, I guess there's nothing else left back there, is there? And I said, you can go take a look, but not very likely, man. And I started to sort of roll away, and then as I was doing that, I was going up to the counter, and the sales guy says, that's a really good price, because I guess he knew the price on this system was $20. So that's a really good price for that system with 2 controllers and all that. And I'm like, yeah man, you're right, like that's exactly why I'm getting it, kind of thing. And then I sort of rolled over to where I was checking out, and the reseller followed me over, and he was kind of looking at my cart like he really you know, was, I don't know, lamenting over his losses or something like that. And he said to me, he goes, oh, that's a decent price, or it's not too bad a price really, I mean you can get them cheaper. He's talking about the system, and which had the AV cables and the 2 controllers. And I said, yeah, actually it's a really decent price, like this sells for quite a pricey amount. I know that, he knows that, so I mentioned it. And he goes, yeah, but every single time the things never work. He's like, that one there probably doesn't work at all. So he's trying to convince me to put this thing down. And I'm not going to listen to that. I mean, I know his game, right? So I thought it was pretty funny. And I was like, you know what? Like, every single system I've ever picked up, man, they've all worked. So my luck's been pretty good with it. So I think I'll stick with it, kind of thing. And then he was trying to chat me up a little bit more about it to talk me out of it. But I think, you know, I was pretty set because I knew what I wanted. So it was kind of funny, though, that he actually was making that effort, that trying to talk me out of this system here. But I'm glad that I held on to it because this thing is like perfect. Works perfectly, tested it out, and couldn't be happier. The only thing it's missing is a power supply. That being said, I am going to move on to my pickups because you're probably sick of me yammering on here, so I'll get to that right now. The first place that I stopped into was a half-price Goodwill day for video games, CDs, DVDs, and all that kind of stuff. And I found a game that was in, I believe it was Longshot's video for his PS2 collection. If you haven't checked it out, you probably should. I'll put a link to his PS2 collection video. And he mentioned this game right here, so it's kind of funny that I actually came across it. It's Scarface for the PlayStation 2. Funny thing about this one here is this game came from Buster's, which is the pawn shop just down the street from where the Goodwill is. And this is their actual sticker on here, so it's a fairly modern buy, I think, for someone. So they must have bought this and played it, and then they were done with it and donated it. So it's kind of interesting, though, that it's from the pawn shop just down the street. But for this here, $2.50 because, you know, half price day, and it is complete. And those Buster stickers come off fairly easily, so it's not too bad at all. The disc is not in perfect shape. It's in decent shape. It has a few scratches and stuff like that on it. But I saw this in Longshot's video, and he said that this game's got a little bit of value to it nowadays. So I saw it, and I was like, I want to check it out. Plus, hey, you know, like, it's Scarface. Come on now. It's going to be awesome for sure. So I thought I would pick that one up for $2.50. Couldn't turn it down. And then the way things have been going lately, as I'm going through, I'm finding things off their carts as they're bringing them out, which is really great for me. Because sometimes the places are fairly cleared out, and I spotted this, which is a great find, I think, for you know, half price day especially, which is kind of interesting too, because they usually don't bring out games on half price day. They usually leave them in the back, wait till the next day, and then they'll bring them out, or a couple days down the road you'll see a restock of games in the store. That way they're not selling immediately, but for some reason they were bringing this guy out, and more than happy that they did. And it's Ghostbusters for the Wii, which is really awesome because it is totally complete and also in near mint condition. I would say the disc is almost flawless, so pretty awesome right there. This is actually different than the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions, so it's a little more cartoony, I think, and so that's kind of cool. It's a different version of this game. I do remember when this came out, I was kind of interested in it, and I did play a little bit on the Xbox 360, but never got a chance to check this one out. For that one there, I paid $2, so really wicked find, I think, all around, and a nice score off the card, especially because it was half price day. They usually don't bring that stuff out. Moving on, stopped off at the Tlees, stopped off at the Value Village, and I found two items. Well, actually, I found one item here. Pretty cool, I guess. I'll have to really check it out. For $5, a little bit overpriced, I think. I picked up a couple of controllers, but this is the one that I was interested in. And it's so funny that you know, I usually see like NES controllers around, stuff like that, but I keep finding these joystick type ones in the last few days here. It's like last week has just been a controller frenzy. If you don't know, if you haven't spotted that, like, go back. I've picked up probably like 4 or 5 different odd Nintendo controllers, but this one here is called the Turbo Master, and yes, it is for the original NES, because you can see the plug right there. So it is for an original NES. Seems a little bit loose, but not too bad overall, and it has quick fire, like rapid fire on it, so you can turn it off and on there. Start and select is right here, and then you have whatever A and B right here, so I'll have to check it out. Feels pretty good. It's not too bad. That seems a little bit loose, but that might be by design. I don't know a whole lot about this particular joystick, but if you've had good experiences with something like this, let me know. But it's another one to add to the ones that I already have. So pretty neat right there, I think. Kind of odd that I keep finding these things now, though. They're all in the same week, the same kind of controller. Moving on, I went to a Value Village. I was trying to hit it up and hope that they had some Super Nintendo games and N64 games, because I found those systems there the day before. To no avail, those things weren't there, so someone must have just donated the systems or donated the controllers and things like that, and that was it. But in there, not even in the electronics section, it's actually back where they keep all their wires and everything, was a green Game Boy Color. You can see the price on it there at $10, which I think is a little overpriced, and the only reason why I kind of picked it up is I don't have one, so I wanted to check it out. The screen's definitely not perfect, and unfortunately it's missing its back cover. I mean, it'll clean up and everything, so hopefully this does work, but you can see the screen is not really in the world's greatest shape. It's a little bit scratched up, so I'll have to test it out and see if it runs. If not, I'll have to return it and then get store credit, which I don't really want to go for necessarily. Also at the same location, I found this right here, which is a pretty good find, I think. A little pricey, but whatever. $6 for Star Wars Battlefront 2, and this is for PS2. Greatest Hits Edition. Not too bad at all. It is complete as well, and the disc on this guy is pretty decent. It's not too bad at all. So I didn't realize that I actually already had this in my collection. I did do a PS2 collection, but I'm getting so many games here, sometimes I forget things that I have, and I thought I did not have this on PS2. Turns out that I do have this on PS2, so this one here will likely be for trade later on down the road, or immediately kind of thing, because I don't really need this copy of it, and mine's actually a black label, so that's that right there, though. Pretty good find, though, I think, for $6. And then I also picked up, and I don't know if people are going to be interested in this or not, because I'm not really a PC collector, but I do find some games once in a while, and I think this one here has some value, so I thought I would pick it up. It's Need for Speed Most Wanted Black Edition, and it's got the manual and all the discs, I'm pretty sure, in here. There's like 5 discs, so I can't imagine there being any more, and the discs are like really mint. Thing with PC games, I find that PC people seem to treat their things better or something, because usually when I find PC games, their discs are in like mint condition, probably because they have to basically install them and then never really use them again, so that's the way that goes, kind of thing, though. But for this one here, I paid $5, and again, things like this, I do check out their prices, because PC stuff, I really don't know the value of it. I'm not a PC collector, but I know that I can use this for trading fodder down the road. If you're interested in this, let me know, because I'm really into the console stuff, not so much the PC stuff. Anyways, moving on from there, this is a really good score. I stopped off at my last Goodwill one right by my house, pretty much, and walked in, and it was half price day, and I'm so glad that I decided to make this stop, because I was thinking I'm a little short on time and I didn't really want to stop in there, but I decided to anyways. This one here had been sitting there for a while, and I didn't really want to pick it up because they wanted $6 for it, and it's not worth $6, I don't think. Probably worth about $5. But I was waiting for half price day to roll around, and it did, so I decided to pick it up. And it's Tecmo Classic Arcade, and so on there you've got, as you can see, Bomb Jack, Rygar. There's just a ton of different games there. I don't know, Solomon's Key. There's just a bunch of them. So pretty cool. I mean, I think it has like 11 games on it or something like that. So pretty cool, and I like these retro compilations. Interesting thing about this, when I took it up, she rang it in as $3.03 and then half priced it, so it's actually $1.50, which is really wicked. Because I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be $3, and it ended up being $1.50. So excellent score right there. And then finally, the last pick of the day I found in the CD section, and I found this with a Dreamcast web browser sitting there, and I didn't bother picking that up because I already have it, and I think it's useless at this point to actually have that. So I decided, though, that I would pick this game out, because it was the only one there that was for Dreamcast left over from whatever. It's Rayman 2, The Great Escape. And because, man, this game right here, I mean, it's a Dreamcast one, and like I said before in so many videos, I don't run across Dreamcast stuff too often. It's usually in Kijiji lots or something like that. I just don't really see it in the wild. Like, I see PS2 stuff like crazy, Xbox stuff like crazy. I see DS stuff fairly frequently. This kind of thing, even Game Boy Advance, I'm seeing more and more of. But Dreamcast stuff, I'm just not seeing out there. So happy to pick this one up. Again, when I took this up at the counter, I was expecting it was going to be $2 because it was half price day, and usually for their CD-based games they charge $4. And I took this up to the counter, and when she rang in both of these items, my total bill came to $2.52 because she charged me $2 for this and then half price it. So this was literally $1.01. Really wicked find. I can't believe I got a Dreamcast game for so cheap. That's probably the cheapest deal other than free. I don't even think, you know, if you got them from your grandmother, you'd probably still have to spend more than that. So pretty wicked deal right there for Rayman 2. So pleased and so happy. If you don't believe me, and you always should, because I never tell a lie when it comes to these things, there's my bill right there, $2.52 for the 2 items. So wicked to get that. Anyways, thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Feel free to comment down below, thumbs up this video, and I will see you all later.